Hello, yogis. Welcome back to your mat. My name is Krista, and this is day 10 of our Spring into Yoga Challenge. For today's class, we are going to be doing a gentle flow, so just taking things slow, really feeling our body and moving with attention and awareness. A prop that you will need today is a block. If you have two, you can bring two to your mat. A book will work as well, or a cushion. Feel free to check the description below, as I will have a little musical playlist for you there. Now let's get started in a seated position. You're just going to bring your hands behind you to start, and you're going to bring your feet out so that the toes are pointed out, and your knees and ankles are roughly in the same line. So just staying here for a moment. Think of pulling your knees down towards the floor, really opening up through the inner part of the leg. If you can reach, maybe you reach for the ankles. Nice flat back, neutral spine. And just breathe here. Keep reaching the knees down towards the floor. And now we're going to move through some cat-cow. So if you can reach for the ankle, reach there, or you can reach for the backs of the thighs or somewhere on that leg. So as you inhale, think of lifting the chest and poking your bum out behind you, and it might not move very much. And with your exhale, think of rounding your spine, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Inhale for your cow pose. Exhale, melt into your cat pose. Breathe in as you lift the sternum bone up. Exhale, round through your upper back. Just a few more like that. Now come up to a neutral spine. Bring your hands behind you and just start windshield wipering the knees back and forth. Noticing how the hips feel today. And the next time your knees lower down to that right side, press into the shins, squeeze your bum to lift the pelvis up, and that left hand can reach up and back. Finding a nice side body stretch. Exhale, sweep that arm down, sit your bum down. Let's move over to the other side. So both shins are pressed into the mat. Lift the pelvis up, reach that arm up and back. Exhale, sit the bum down, switch. Let's do that a few more times. Breathe in. Exhale for that transition. Inhale to lift the pelvis up. Beautiful. One more each side. Beautiful. Come back to center. Now from here, either grab behind the legs or grab a hold of the big toe with your peace fingers. Start to sit your bum back a little bit here so you can find your balance point on your sits bones. And from here, just bring your feet off to hover to start. Play with finding that balance. Maybe you start to lift your shins parallel to the mat. And I know we're still waking up here, but if you can extend both legs without falling back, you can play with that as well. Yeah, so really finding that balance point. Beautiful. And then cross at the ankles, plant the hands onto the mat. Let's meet in downward facing dog. And for this downward dog, bring your feet as wide as your mat and then walk your hands in about halfway. And just notice how that feels in the body. You can play with bringing your feet even wider if you like. And maybe this takes away some of the pressure from the wrists. Maybe you feel a deeper stretch in through the backs of the legs. Now from here, make sure you have your block to the back of your mat. So I'm just gonna scooch mine over there. And then start to walk your hands back. Slightly turn your toes out. Preparing to sit in our squat. And whether you can sit all the way into your squat comfortably or not, I still want you to use the block for this. So from here, start to bend the knees, bring the pelvis, your sits bones onto that block. Coming into your squat. Bring the hands together and press the elbows to the inner thighs and sit up nice and tall. Take a loving breath in through your nose and exhale, release. Now from here, begin to straighten your right leg straight out in front of you. And then bring the outer edge of that left shoulder to the inside of the left leg, and then reach the arm out, just bringing the fingertips onto the floor. Inhale, begin to reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, let's thread that arm through the hand. Inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, begin to thread that right arm in between the left. Yeah, so we're kind of closing that angle. Inhale, let's expand. Let's move into that twist. Exhale. Let's thread it through. Beautiful. Last one. Inhale. Twist towards the right. Exhale. Thread that right arm through. Beautiful. Now come back up to a neutral spine. That left leg, you're just going to move off to one side and think of bringing that left shin onto the mat. So now we have one leg bent and one leg straight. And then from here, sit up nice and tall. Keep that right leg engaged. Keep the toes pointing towards your face. Big breath in. And exhale, hinge forward. And it's okay if you need to keep a slight bend in the knee. This might take a little bit of the pressure behind the knee. Breathe. Inhale, come all the way back up. Stabilize. Bring the sole of the right foot onto the mat. Lift your hips up, coming into a lunge. Bring that left hand onto the low back. Right fingertips reach up. Exhale, sink the pelvis and find a nice back bend. And keep reaching that left arm back for the shin. Beautiful. And then exhale, windmill the palms down onto the floor. Shift your hips back, come to sit onto your block. Bend that right leg again. Bring it off to the side. And then move your bum off to the side so you can free up that left leg coming back into your squat. We're going to do that on the other side. So from here, left leg straightens. Bring the outer edge of that right shoulder to the inside of the right thigh. Fingertips reach off to the side. Inhale, reach left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Revolve open towards the left side of your mat. Exhale, thread that arm through the right arm here. Inhale, open up. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Let's close it up. Beautiful. Now come up to a neutral spine. Shift your weight off to the left side, enough that you can just bend that right leg, placing the shin onto the mat. From here, think of sitting up nice and tall, nice flat back. Keep the left quadricep engaged. Option to keep a slight bend in the knee if you need to here. And then exhale, begin to hinge forward. Keep breathing. With every exhale, maybe sinking a little bit further, a little bit deeper. Inhale, slowly rise back up. Take a breath here, stabilize. Slide the sole of the left foot onto the mat. Lift the hips up. Step the left foot forward if you need to come into that lunge. Inhale, left arm reaches up towards the ceiling, right hand to the low back. Sink the hips as you reach back, maybe reaching the right fingertips towards the back of the shin. Breathe. Beautiful. Windmill the palms down to the floor. Send your hips back onto the block. Shift your weight off to one side, just enough that you can free that right leg. Come back into your squat. Press the hands together in the center of your heart. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it all go. Bring your hands onto the mat. Shift your weight enough that you can lift the hips and then walk your hands forward, coming back into a full downward facing dog. Breathe. With every exhale, sink the heels a little bit further towards the mat. Sink your chest towards your thighs. Come high onto the toes. Bend the knees, look forward. And begin to walk your feet up to meet your hands, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. On strong legs, slight bend in the knees. Roll the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head and neck come up last. Take a nice big shoulder roll as you reach the top. Bring the big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Inhale, arms reach up into the air. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, chair pose. Breathe. Nice neutral spine. Keep hugging that belly in. Make sure you can see your toes past your knees. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down onto the mat. Step back to a downward facing dog. Ripple your spine forward, coming into your high plank. Option is stay in your high plank or drop the knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend. So if you want to stay with a baby cobra, cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, release. Push back, downward facing dog. Pivot the left foot down, heel down. Step the right foot between the palms. Keeping the hips square to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Reach the arms back behind you, interlace the fingers. Extend the arms, press the heart forward, and then exhale, humble warrior, folding to the inside of that front leg. Arms can reach up and overhead. Inhale, let's rise up. As soon as you get to the top, release the hands. Hands back down onto the mat. Step back, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, right heel comes down, foot on a 45-degree angle. Left foot steps between the palms. Inhale, let's rise up, warrior one. Exhale, sweep the hands back behind you. Interlace the fingers, extend the arms. Exhale, hinge forward, humble warrior. Yeah, keep the legs squeezing into the midline of the body. Breathe. Inhale, lift all the way back up. Release the palms, hands down onto your mat. Step back, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands. Walk your feet up towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Bend the knees, sit your hips back. Sweep the arms up, chair pose. Breathe. Exhale, come back up to stand. Arms rest by your side. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands into your mat. Step your feet back, downward facing dog. Come high onto the toes. Bring your knees onto the mat. Big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Child's pose. Rest your forehead down onto the mat. Come back to that slow, steady breath. When you calm the breath, you start to calm the mind, and you calm the physical body. And feel free to stay here as long as you like, as long as you need to. If you're craving a Shavasana right now, feel free to do that as well. Slowly begin to curl the body up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Just coming into a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for practicing today, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed moving your body and building a little bit of heat throughout the body. And this is day 10 of our Spring into Yoga challenge. So that means there will be no video posted Saturday or Sunday. So feel free to take that time to rest, to maybe catch up on a class that you missed this week. And I will see you on Monday. Namaste, everyone.